This is Zach's presentation.
Hello, my name is Zach Kaminsky. I'm a junior in zoo science, and I will be presenting about the ornamental tarantulas, also known as the parachute or tiger tarantulas, and they are going to be in the Poecilotheria genus. I'll be presenting on the Poecilotheria genus, but focusing on the Goody sapphire or peacock tarantula and the Rameshwaram tarantula. The Goody sapphire was named after the location it was founded, the Goody area, or peacock refers to the coloration of the tarantula. I'll be referring to it as its scientific name, Poecilotheria metallica. And for the Rameshwaram tarantula, it was found in a temple named Hanamavila Sumaka, hence its scientific name. And the temple is located in Rameshwaram, India. Both of these tarantulas are critically endangered from India, and the Poecilotheria hanamavila sumica was once thought to be the Poecilotheria fasciata. The Poecilotheria genus is a genus of spiders, so in the order Arnea. They're in the infraorder Megalomorphae, which includes the funnel web trapdoor spiders and tarantulas. The family of Theraphosidea refers to tarantulas specifically, and the subfamily Poecilotherinae refers to the large-bodied Old World arboreal tarantulas. The genus Poecilothera is the arboreal Indian and Sri Lankan tarantulas. Some key characteristics for this genus is going to be their coloration. So they have variegated or star-like patterning on their carapace, which is going to be their central body where their legs are extending from. Their carapace is also going to be flattened, and they have long, skinny legs to help with their arboreal nature. You'll notice in the right picture how the first two pair of legs are going to be focused up front, and then the last two pair of legs are going to be focused out back, and that allows them to hold on to branches really easily like the left picture is showing. They can get up to 11 inches, mainly just the Poecilothera rufilata, which is the right picture, and most of the other species are going to average to be about 6 to 8 inches in the genus. Here is a chart showcasing the impairment ranking of each species in the Poecilothera genus versus the location that they can be found in. The species of Poecilothera hanamavila sumica and vittata can both be found in India and Sri Lanka, and all species are either native to India and or Sri Lanka. They're not found in any other countries. All species that are data deficient or critically endangered, except for Poecilothera metallica, were founded within the past 26 years, with Poecilothera srilankensis being the newest discovered species, founded in 2020. Here are some charts showing the distribution of some Poecilothera species found in India. You'll notice that pretty much all of them are found within the eastern coast of India and the southern tip as well. On the climate map, you'll see the dark orange showing the warm, humid areas where the species in Poecilothera like to be found because they prefer tropical and subtropical areas, although some species can be found in more arid areas as well. On the right picture, you can see the southern tip of India with the two yellow pins next to Sri Lanka, and that's going to be the Hanamavila sumica distribution. It is found in the southern tip of India as well as the northern tip of Sri Lanka, and it is found near the Rameshwaram area, hence its common name. In the bottom picture, in the middle of the picture, you'll notice Poecilothera metallica with the pin, and this species is also critically endangered along with the Hanumovilla sumica due to its endemic natural range. It is found within only 100 kilometers squared, and hence it being endemic, hence it being highly imperiled. The Poecilothera tigrinowesselli was not pictured here due to it being data deficient and no distribution information being found. On this slide is just pictures of some of the species found in India. The bottom left is Poecilothera tigrinowesselli, which is the data deficient spider, and the top one is Poecilothera metallica, and the one on the bottom right is Hanumovilla sumica. Here's showcasing just the coloration and the size and the ball plan of the tarantulas found in India. On this slide is showing the distribution of the species found in Sri Lanka, excluding the Poecilothera rajai and the Poecilothera srilankensis. Due to these maps being formulated in 2014, the Poecilothera rajai was discovered in 2012 and is still data deficient, and the Poecilothera srilankensis being discovered in 2020. You can notice that most of these species, excluding the Poecilothera fasciata and vittata, prefer the warm, humid areas as well on the figure 1 to the right. The darker areas show more humid and more rainfall during the year, and the figure 2 on the left shows the distribution of 5 of these species in the Sri Lankensis distribution of Poecilothera. You'll notice that Poecilothera fasciata is up north, and how Hanumovilla sumica is not shown there either. And that is because Hanumovilla sumica was founded after this graphs were made and was once originally thought to be Poecilothera fasciata. They have since been separated due to slight coloration differences, like the black band on the fourth leg of the Hanumovilla sumica is connected, whereas on the fasciata it's not. Also on the Hanumovilla sumica, it is paler and has more violet coloration on the third and fourth leg than the Poecilothera fasciata. On this slide, I'm showing pictures of the extremes of impairment as well. So the top picture is going to be Poecilothera srilankensis, which is data deficient, along with Poecilothera rajai, which is also data deficient. Poecilothera smithii on the right is the only critically endangered species of Poecilothera in Sri Lanka. Like I was saying on previous slides, these guys prefer to live in tropical and subtropical areas, although they can be found in more arid and temperate regions as well. They do prefer old growth forests due to having larger trees with more habitat, and they can be found in a wide range of habitats from montane to lowland forests, like I said, tropical to arid forests, deciduous versus temperate, and they can be found near riverine areas as well. Recently, with human expansion, these spiders have been found closer and closer to human developments as well. They like to live underneath tree bark, within tree holes that other animals have made, rock crevices, in leaf litter, and under piles of branches and stuff like that, any tight crevices that they can squeeze into, that's where they're pretty much going to be hiding out in. On the top right picture, you can see a hollowed out log that one Poecilothera species made nesting area in. And on the bottom right is the Poecilothera regalis, which is the least concern, in a rock crevice. On the bottom left is Poecilothera hanumavillisumica, trying to get underneath the bark of a tree there. The diet of the Poecilothera genus is pretty much going to be whatever they can catch. They're going to be opportunistic carnivores, and because of their arboreal nature, they're going to eat mainly flying insects and other flying animals like bats and birds, other arboreal animals like lizards and snakes. Any kind of animal that they can capture, they're going to try to eat. In the wild, their diet has not been very well studied, so it's pretty much well known or well accepted that they're just opportunistic carnivores. In captivity, they are fed what pretty much any other insectivore is going to be fed: crickets, mealworms, roaches, and stuff like that, with the occasional enrichment item of a mouse, like the um, Poecilothera striata on the bottom right, which is eating a small mouse there. Cool fact about the Poecilothera genus is one of their common names, the parachute tarantula. This refers to the act of them trying to get away from predators. So because of their arboreal nature, they are going to be up top in the treetops and the canopy. And whenever they get startled, they will jump from one branch or tree to another tree, trying to grab onto a branch. Although these guys don't have the best sight and use vibrations and feel to sense the world around them, so when they get startled, they jump pretty much hoping to grab onto another tree. If they don't land on another tree, they're going to use their flattened carapace and their long legs covered in setae or hair-like protrusions, which allow them to float down to the ground gently and basically slow down their fall so that they don't rupture their abdomen when they hit the ground. Other animals or spiders that do a similar act is going to be spiders in the Salticidae family, which are jumping spiders, hence the common name. Jumping spiders have really good vision compared to other spiders, and so they can see where they're going to jump, and for the most part will land on the area that they're jumping towards. The animation to the right does not refer to the Salticidae or Poecilothera spiders. It refers to spiders in the Aranomorphae infraorder, so pretty much any spider that's not going to be a tarantula, trapdoor, or funnel web spider. And the slings or spiderlings, baby spiders, will put out a strand of silk and um, allow the wind to catch the silk and allow them to fly away and float wherever the wind takes them, which is a dispersal mechanism, which allows the Aranomorphae slings to normally be the first animals in secondary succession due to this very effective distribution method. They can be found up to miles and miles away. Another cool fact about these spiders is that they're used quite often in education and arachnophobia studies, along with a lot of other scientific studies. One study that I found was the Poecilothera ornata was brought to a classroom where kids learned about the imperilment of the species along with its anatomy and its life history. At the start of the study, pretty much every single kid was scared of spiders and had arachnophobia. And at the end of the study, all of the kids wanted to help the tarantulas in the wild. They wanted to see their populations grow and wanted to see them be successful in nature. You can see on the bottom left and the bottom right, or the top right, some of the activities that they did. So they made spiders out of fruits and veggies and pipe cleaners and whatever they could find around the classroom. And then they also did a lot of other activities, learning about their life history and their impairment from anthropogenic forces. One thing I would like to point out on the bottom right is the coloration and the patterning of them, which kind of is the reasoning they're called ornamental spiders because they look like an ornamental rug. So in all the other pictures you can see they look kind of like an ornamental rug, hence the name. Another cool fact about these tarantulas is their communal nature in captivity. Poecilotheria metallica specifically can be housed communally if kept in the proper enclosures with a proper amount of space. Other spiders are not normally kept communally due to the risk of cannibalism, although some Poecilothera species and some other Theraphosidae species can be kept communally successfully. Some other species that have been kept communally successfully is going to be the Monocentropus balfouri, or the picture on the left. The top right picture is going to be the Holothele insii, and the bottom right is Hysterocrates gigas. All of these can be kept communally, although they have to be done properly in order to do so, with lots of room and be fed very often and be well maintained. The main driver for Poecilothera impairment, along with pretty much every other animal on this planet, is going to be habitat destruction and degradation. One of the biggest ones is going to be the habitat destruction, or cutting down their native habitat for agriculture, like coconut trees and palm oil trees. Although some species have been found to exist and inhabit agricultural monocultures, um, like the Poecilothera striata, regalis, and Hanomavilla sumica, although their populations were a lot lower compared to a mixed forest that they're naturally found in. The habitat degradation is due to native people lopping branches, or pretty much just cutting off just the branches and taking dead wood um, and piles of wood on the ground and breaking off branches to use for firewood to warm their villages up, along with cutting down trees and other resources um, to the tarantulas for the native people to build homes and build tools basically to colonize the area. The lack of habitat has caused more social strife for the species, although in captivity they can be housed communally. Their um, populations have decreased because of the decrease in habitat for these species. Another reason for the Poecilothera impairment is due to the pet trade. Because of their large body, colorful, and arboreal nature, these guys are heavily sought after in the pet trade and will be captured in the wild and shipped to the international tarantula pet trade market, which is focused primarily in the United States and Europe. Um, Tarantulas will be caught by locals in the area, and then a middleman will pick them up from the locals and ship them over to the States where they will be sold for upwards of 1, 2, and some species like the Poecilotheria metallica in a large, full-grown female can go upwards of $300 or $400 an individual. The most common species found in the pet trade are shown here, although pretty much all species can be found in the pet trade with enough searching. Because of their selected life strategy, a lot more tarantulas are being bred in captivity because they can have a couple hundred baby spiders at a time per egg sac. So they are being bred a lot more common in captivity, although it takes a while for these guys to become sexually mature. The third reason for their imperilment is due to intentional killing due to locals fearing the large spiders, along with misconceptions about their venom being deadly. However, this has never been proven, and there's no reported cases of any human dying from any tarantula bite. Also, a lack of awareness because locals do not know about the imperilment of the species, along with the importance they have in their habitats and how they can help the individuals as well. Because the spiders eat insects that can transport disease from human to human, as well as um, eat crops and affect agriculture negatively, the spiders can be very helpful. Um, some education and awareness has been done to locals in the area, although it was not reported if it was effective at all, and it's a very minute amount of education and awareness being done. I was able to find 2 reported cases of people going out and educating them, and it was pretty much people getting locals to help find the tarantulas and not solely educating them or providing awareness for why they should be helped. On the bottom left picture is a picture of Poecilotheria miranda, which was killed by locals in one of the studies that used locals to help find the species. One of the people got frightened and basically killed it. On the right is Poecilotheria metallica. This spider is not dead, it is upside down, and it is about to molt. So, due to people having a lack of awareness of tarantulas, I figured I would educate you guys on reasoning behind a spider being upside down. So spiders don't flip upside down if they're dead. If they're dead, they will pull their legs in, like the picture on the left, because they have a hydraulic-like anatomy to their legs. So when they die, there's no pressure, and it pulls their legs inwards. On the right, because it's upside down, it's going to um, break apart the top of the carapace and the bottom of the carapace and use its leg muscles to basically push its exuvia or its molt upwards and allow it to fall off of the tarantula. So if you see a spider or tarantula upside down, it does not mean that that spider is dead. 99.9% of the time, it means that it's going to be molting, so you should leave it alone. Some regulations that are helping the Poecilotheria genus is going to be CITES, which is going to prevent the importation of wild-caught specimens in India or Sri Lanka into the United States, along with the United States Endangered Species Act, containing Poecilotheria fasciata, ornata, smithi, subfusca, as well as vittata. In the article, it specifies Pedersini, but that is now identified as Poecilotheria vittata. In Sri Lanka, they have the Sri Lankan Flora and Fauna Protection Act, which protects all of the species of Poecilothera as well as other theraphosid individuals, but not that many. In India, there's no existing policies or research priorities for the conservation, and this is due to India being a third world country and having a lot of other important um, regulations that need to be done, and they're focusing on their people as opposed to helping uh, native wildlife, specifically invertebrates, because invertebrates don't get that much attention to begin with. So while there's some efforts being done to help the Poecilothera genus, there's still not quite a lot being done due to the fear, misconceptions, and the fact that they are invertebrates. So one thing that really needs to get done is to educate locals about the importance of the spiders and how that the spiders can help them, as well as clear misconceptions that they're not deadly and that they are helpful to the environment and that you're not going to become rich from capturing and selling these spiders to the pet trade. There's also needs to be um, more efforts to help the native locals of India and Sri Lanka to get another job instead of capturing the tarantulas. Um, a Theraphosidae SSP should be done with breeding projects and reintroductions due to their endemic history and their decreasing populations. Um, Currently, no captive bred individuals can be used in captivity right now just because of the unknown genetics and locality of the spiders, because there's not that much documentation when locals take the spiders and the middlemen ship them to the US or Europe. Um, Currently, I was not able to find any Poecilothera species being kept in any zoos um, across the US, and so I think other more zoos should keep these spiders, although they're not good ambassador animals, hence why they're not found very commonly in zoos. Another conservation message that needs to be out there is that if you're going to buy a pet tarantula or any pet to begin with, you should make sure that you do your research to acquire a captive bred individual and not a wild caught individual. Do research on the vendor or the breeders that you're getting them from to make sure that they are reputable and sustainable. Lastly, another thing that should be done is buying land and preserving habitat that they are found in. Because they're endemic, like the Poecilothera metallica, they only live in a small area, less than 100 kilometers squared. And so every piece of land and habitat that you're able to preserve will help these species live on and keep reducing into future generations. There are no population estimates for any species in Poecilothera currently, although I did find a study in southern India where they were looking for Poecilothera hanumovilla sumica for a course of 4 years in one central park. They noticed that they found about 100 individuals overall in 2004, and this number went up to about 270 individuals in 2005. This is possibly due to an increase in rainfall from 2004, creating more vegetation. More vegetation means more prey, for the spiders. So it's possible the rain helped the species grow in population for that year. Although since 2005 they drastically found less and less spiders until November 2007, where they did not find a single nest. Um, and they found very few individuals, about 50 of them compared to 100 just 3 years before. So this shows the decline in the populations for Poecilothera hanumobilosumica, although it can be interpreted that this same um, increase and decrease for the species can be distributed across other species in the Poecilothera genus as well due to their similarities. A fun little message to help you remember the conservation for spiders or Poecilothera in general is if you look at the life of a spider through their eyes, you're 8 times as likely to respect their lives. And then on the right is a little jumping spider, cute little animation to help bring awareness to the beauty of spiders. And here's my bibliography for the resources I use to find information on Poecilothera and their imperilment.